So again, welcome everyone. This is the Mental Wealth and Applied Research webinar. I'm Dr. Hisham Bakr from the University of East London, and it will be my pleasure to give you a final structure and final recommendation about how you can create an impressive quality of paper before the final summative assessment in week 12. The design actually of your research, the design of your paper structure, how you can include the in-text citation and how you can include recent references. It's a key point to gain lots of marks and succeed successfully. Today, I'm going to share file Word. Allow me to share the file firstly. I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, this is a blank document actually. I would like just to start from the scratch of designing your paper structure and research methodology, research aims, objectives, and research topic. How you can clearly identify the gaps, research gaps, how you can clearly identify also the appropriate literature to prove your rationale beyond the research gaps you find. Sometimes people are complaining about not finding relevant literature review from the previous scholar, which reflects a very impressive, insightful idea or topic for your research, which is quite good. However, at least you can have some relevant direct and indirect literature review to create the link and shine about your research gaps and how you can create some innovative, impressive recommendation for future studies. The research methodology and research methods, and I'm going to explain what is the difference between research methodology, research method, how you can link with the appropriate ethical consideration relevant to your research. I don't prefer actually to have something broader about ethical consideration, but I would like to have some impressive, insightful writing and inclusion about your research topic. Each research topic has relevant ethical consideration, which is very convenient to include. I don't like just to place literature review as headings and subheadings. However, it has to be inserted as in-text citation and referred to as, just allow me 1 second, people are in the waiting room. It's all good. How you can refer to the appropriate in-text citation as references. People sometimes are missing in-text citations that is matching the references. We are checking, or I am checking actually, if every reference is including as in-text citation. Sometimes people have a very long list of exceeding 70 references, but however, there is no inclusion as in-text citation, which decrease dramatically the paper scholarly, not having the appropriate paraphrasing and the inclusion into your paper. Let's start from scratch and we will go by heading. If you can open the module assessment rubric just beside, so you can follow up with me how you can break down the requirement into headings and subheadings starting from the scratch, and how can you will align this with the quality of your paper before the final submission. Starting from the nomination of your letter, as you can see, Bakr underscore Hisham, your student number underscore course name, or even the acronym of your course, it's fine. Do not make very long document title. Sometimes it is not possible to open the file because the long name of your title. However, you can downsize mental wealth for mental wealth and applied research to just the acronym HR 7004 underscore the date, and that will be enough. That will be easy for even any marker that will mark your document to know which paper you are. Very important to include into your cover page the document title, and you can have as a research topic. Do not mention just mental wealth for and applied research, but however, you need to include your research topic. It's your research. So just be very specific into your cover letter. Include your research topic as in the cover page. Put a small abstract for one small paragraph if it's possible. If it's not possible, it's fine. Put your name and any additional data like your student number, your university, your doctor, any additional information you can put in the cover letter. How you can create the cover letter? You can come from insert. From here, you can select any cover letter. I believe this one is this template. So I inserted the cover letter, and this will be this document as it appears, and I'm sharing with you. Immediately after the cover letter, try to be very impressive into your research and very concise. So it will attract even any reader conscious to be very interesting to read your research in very more details. Executive summary, no more than 300 words, 250, 300 words, no more. It is excluding from the word count, but it is making your research very specific to the point. It will give a clear idea to any reader what is your research investigating exactly, what is the problem or issues or gaps into your research, what you will investigate into the paper, and what are your recommendations for future research. So if I'm talking about that, so for sure, the executive summary will be written after finalizing your paper. So firstly, you will start to draft your paper, write the 6,000 words you are recommended to put into your final assignment, and before the final revision, you will be able to write down a very specific executive summary, matching and reflecting. Some people are writing the executive summary and have some inclusions that are not reflecting into the paper, which is not good. Everything you must write in the executive summary must be including into your paper. If you write that I'm going to analyze the gaps in customer relationship management, for example, and show that there is some lack or shortage in any specific area, it must be discussed and analyzed into your paper very in more details. After that, I'm going after the executive summary. Let's say I'm going to type some content here. I'm going to insert blank page break. Can you see from the insert tab? You click the third tab from the left, page break. it will be scrolling down to the table of contents. So I already prepared for this, but if you have a blank document, you will have the table of contents inserted at the first line of the next page, because you inserted page break. For what reason? To let your paper very clear and very high quality. Once you click the executive summary, do not put following the executive summary table of content in the middle of the page. It looks unprofessional, actually. But if you click insert page break, you will be led to the first line of the next page. So your table of contents will start to be inserted. How you insert the table of contents? Actually, you go for the references. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 references. Table of contents. Lots of people, you can select any one. There is table 1 or table 2, any form you can find. Either form 1 or 2, it's very convenient. I selected form 2. I don't have anything to add for the table of contents. After the table of contents, you will do the same step again. Insert page break. You will be led to the first line. You can see here, line 1. And led to the page break. So it's pushing down or any content into your paper further to have your paper consistency and to be very clear to accept. Just allow me a few seconds again. I have people waiting in the waiting room, so I have been open the invitation to let everyone attend. So thank you so much for everyone again. So I was scrolling down the first here, introduction. Again, the introduction, it's counted towards your word counts. If you are going to write about the research topic, aims, and objectives into your final assignment with the University of East London, you are required to put 1,300 or 1,300 words, minus plus 10%, and it is counted 20 marks. So write just a small paragraph of 200, 250 words as an introduction. Introduction to your research. It's different from your executive summary. Your executive summary is covering the full paper, the whole paper. You have to analyze what is your briefly mentioned, and it is very difficult to write the executive summary. That's why leave it at the end of your paper. If you find it so complex to do it, just ignore. It is not marked down into your research, but if you will do, you will be upgraded into your marks because you have done something very high quality and you are done something beyond expectation, and you must be marked towards very high quality of work. However, in contrast, if you are struggling doing the executive summary, jump the executive summary and proceed to write the content of your paper, but however, you will be graded fairly as per the contents you have and not the high quality one. So introduction, 250 words, no more, just to introduce, prepare. If you are talking about a company, for example, in any country overseas, so give a very brief introduction about the company, what is your research aiming to do, and what you are trying to find, but you don't duplicate the executive summary, just a brief about the company, brief about the industry into your country, and proceed immediately in the next heading and prepare before into your introduction section. Just say in the next section, I'm going to discuss about the topic in more details, clarify the aims and objectives, and identify the gaps. create heading and subheading. So once I'm creating, I'm going to eliminate this just to show you how it works. From here, the headings. From the home page, you go for style. Maybe you have a different look into your Word. Depends on the version you are using. So I'm going to remove the heading actually. So I'm going from style, normal. So it's normal, like exactly as I'm starting now. Instead of selecting and going, select a specific font and font size, font type, etc., and making bold or normal, and lots of manual work, you can just highlight, go to style, make heading 1. That's it, and click Control S or click File and save somewhere. I will scroll up again. So to go to the table of content, you click on the exclamation mark to update your table. Click on update entire table and not update page numbers only. Sometimes updating page numbers only, it's updating without having some small details. So click on the update entire table to be very, very specific and updating the full paper instantly. Some people also are including the table of contents. However, they are following the process, but they forgot at the end to update the table of contents, which is not reflecting the table of contents, the contents of your paper, which is a big problem of paper structure that is reflecting a poor quality of your paper. You scroll down again. As you can see, I put the page number as well. You can insert here page number. From the insert tab, go to page number and select any of your looks you need. I prefer also to the bottom of your page, any place, middle, right hand side, left hand side, it's fine. But at the bottom of your page, it much more consistent and good look for your paper. Why actually including the paper? Some papers are very long structure. So in my PhD thesis, for example, I have written 335 pages. So how can you imagine my examiners will revise and review my PhD thesis? So it will be very hard for them if they would like from the table of contents that it is a must recommendation, it is a must and obligation to put into your PhD thesis to have the page numbers and some additional structure for a table of appendix, list of figures, list of acronyms, all this. It's an obligation and to have some kind of recommendation and acknowledgement to your PhD supervisors and additional requirements. So from the table of contents, if they would like to jump of any of your paper, it's fine, but they can click Control and the page number, they can go directly to your page. But however, if they would like to scroll down manually, it will be very hard for them to realize which paper it is, especially if you do have some Latin page number at the introduction or appendices or list of figures that is different from the normal numbering starting from 1, which is a bit hurdle for everyone to focus, and it is an annoying concern for your examiners to follow easily your paper. So I recommend all the time to put the page numbers just to make it easy for any examiners or marker to go through your content very easily. If you do have the table of contents, it is exactly as anyone who is new to the workforce that is going to interview. Professional people can assess, I can assess actually, the people from the 31st seconds. I have an impression about the person who I'm going to interview. From the body language, from the look, from the confidence level, from the eye contact, some different perspectives starting from the first 30 seconds, professional people can estimate very high probability about the interviewee. If this is a good person or this will not be matched. I remember very well through my long expertise, starting nearly 30 years of experience, professional and academic experience. So I have been interviewed people by a way not to frustrate the interviewees. I was just talking broadly for 2-3 minutes and say, we are going to call you back again because I can't find what I need and the candidate didn't impress me starting from the beginning. Sometimes we are not 100% correct, but however, most of the statistics prove that professional people who has relevant expertise can assess the relevancy of any paper starting from the first impression. If you do have a very high quality of table of contents and you do have very good structure and inclusion, I can read, for example, research topic, you are talking about the CRM, corporate social responsibility, and you are talking about something innovative. So I'll be very interesting about your research topic. I'm going to click on your page. I'm very exciting. I can't wait. So I'll go quickly to read the executive summary, firstly, check your paper table of contents, and then go step by step. And I'm not the one who is doing the micro marking. It is exactly similar to the micromanagement, which is creating stress. However, I'm analyzing the content. Nearly all of us, including myself, are not native English. So we do have problem in expressing our thoughts. So we can express our thoughts verbally in typing exactly, not exactly what we need to do. So we need to have a proofreading through aggregated sources, just a proofreading, not generating all the content by AI tools, etc. But however, you can use some tools after refining your research, just to have a proofreading. And you need to refer to that I used this source of AI to generate and revise the grammar mistakes, the spelling mistakes, the consistency of what I need exactly to say. And not only that, you need to revise again the content that is generated to review. Sometimes the AI tools don't understand what you need exactly, or because you are not expressing properly, the AI tools are generating different content. So it's very critical to review before we are doing to physical places to have a proofreading of our research, to go to specific and professional people who are expert in language editing. So we go for editing, we pay some money, and we are using the professional services to have a proofreading of our papers and research to make sure that what we need to say is exactly written properly to match all different kind of culture and different languages. The next step immediately after your research topic, research aims objective, sorry, you have to clarify the research topic. Research topic, I'm going to add here, this is a heading, the same way from the home page. I'm going to style, Where is style here? And heading 1. And I'm going to make the numbering after making the heading. If you make the numbering before making the headings, so it will be released. So make the heading or subheadings before, and if you would like to make numbering, you can do the numberings without any problem. All what you do is that you scroll up consistently and frequently, click on the table of contents, update the entire table, and click OK. It will be updating your content. If you push up any content to the next page, it will be updating your page number. I'm going to show you an example. Research topic is in page 5 here. I'm going to push this content down just to let you see what I am meaning. So now it is in page 6. Allow me to let you see research topic. It is in page 4. I'm going to update the entire table. You can see it is reflecting the new page number, and it is reflecting the exact page numbering mentioned down. So if I scroll down here, it is page 5, you can see here, and I push this content down to page 5. I'll be back again to continue. Once you specify the research topic, no more, I would like to have no more than 13 to 15 words. Some people are providing very high efforts, actually, but they are providing titles, 2 very lengthy titles exceeding maybe 28 or 30 words. It is very long. A very impressive and very good title, no more than 13 to 15 words, including if you have any subtitle. If you would like to write a case study of XYZ, etc., no more than 15 words or 17 words by the war scenario. Longer than this, it is not a good title, and it is downgraded your paper quality. And you must be sure that your paraphrasing is reflecting the meaningful topic of your research to be clearly understood by everyone who will read your paper. Do not only consider your examiner or your lecturer. However, consider that you are having a distinction mark into your thesis or MBA submission, and you will have an opportunity to publish your research. You will have a broader audience. My PhD research, for example, it is published worldwide, and I recommended and I have an obligation to put in any publication that it is free of charge, free access to everyone around the world. So I didn't recommend to have any money or to collect any money to access my publication, which is a requirement from my end before writing my consent for the university to publish. However, it is giving you a wider approach. People who are speaking French, who are speaking Arabic, who are speaking Latin American, Spanish, etc. People will be having access to your publication from everywhere in the world. So your writing must be very consistent, very clear, using or the usage of a proofreading tool or professional services to refine the proofreading after paraphrasing from your end as a personal effort and extracting the scholarly references, including the in-text citation, and writing into your own expression, into your own qualification in English. And then one time at the end, you can have a proofreading of your paper. And for sure, do not forget to insert your in-text citation as it is, or leave it at the same place, especially if you will use an AI tool for proofreading. Sometimes the AI tools kick away any in-text citation and give you paraphrasing of your inclusion. So it's a must, because without having the in-text citation, it is not a proof of your own work and your own research. You must paraphrase any previous scholar research into your own words to prove to the examiner or to me that you understood the content of your paper or your research, and you have to use relevant recent references. What do you mean by recent relevant references? I'm going to discuss in further details, but broadly, not older than 2010. 2010, we are now into 2025, so 15 years old. It's fair enough for all kinds of researches, especially except if you are talking about the corporate social responsibility, for example, and you are talking about previous literature. I did that in my research before concluding my 38th definition for the corporate social responsibility, so I have no choice to do that. I was analyzing theories from the 1970 and 77, starting from the Carroll's pyramid of corporate social responsibility and identifying the gaps in corporate social responsibility before defining my own theory. And the same I was doing for the triple win business strategy. So I have to go from the history. Some literature review paper or articles actually can go through 100 years ago because they are analyzing the history of a specific topic. If you are doing that, you have an exception to go through older chronological order or placement to track the revolution of a specific incident or theory or analysis, and it is acceptable. But if you are talking about automation, I'm not talking about any history now. If you are talking about the automation, or you are talking about the fourth industrial revolution or the cryptocurrency, for example, and you are talking, so it is something top, brand new. You must use very recent research because it is something recently booming. To have a very high quality, you must use maybe 2018 maximum up to date to have the last updates of your automation and cryptocurrency and how you can use to assess AI in business performance, etc. Research aims and objective. People can differ between the objectives. They are writing the objectives very clearly, and then they say, it's enough. It's very clear, yes, but it is not enough to write the objectives. You must go to write at least 1 to 3 research questions. So I can have here another subheadings, 1.2. Can have here research questions. Just focus on capitalizing, and I'm going to explain to you how to capitalize. Firstly, I'm going to have the subheading 2 or heading 2. As I was telling you, I didn't make any numbering, but the last numbering, because this is related to the heading 1 or topic 1 or section 1. So any heading 2 or subheadings will be 1.1, 1.2, and this one will be 1.3. So this is a top quality of research. So research questions, no more than 2 to 3 questions maximum. I prefer 2, maximum 2. For one reason, if you do more than 2 or 3 questions, it will be decentralize your focus points into your research, and you will be lost And also, anyone who will read your research will be distracted, do not understand clearly what you need to focus on. If I need to focus in my PhD research, I was trying to focus on corporate social responsibility, essentially, and I was framing or having subsidiary responsibility, which is a university social responsibility, and linking this to the customer relationship management. So all my paper back and forth, the 335 pages, I was analyzing business performance, defining a new theory for triple win business approach, and the 38th definition for the corporate social responsibility. But back and forth, I'm analyzing factors like liminality, marginalization, and informal discrimination for overseas students living in Australia, because I was living in Australia and I'm still working with Australian universities. So I was analyzing what were the overseas students facing and struggling during the COVID-19. And I was linking back and forth to the quality of customer service provided at the universities, what is the basic of customer service and quality management in business organization. And I was linking this, that the universities are considered business organization. However, you must consider students as customers. This will be reflecting high quality of satisfaction, loyalty, and promoting your business, and it will be impacting the gross domestic product of any country overseas. That's why I have a high recommendation from my examiners to publish my thesis, and I publish my research. And I'm in the process to implement in different overseas universities my implications that I was detecting into my research. So back and forth, you need to have a focus point or points, no more than 2-3 focus points, and create some links and interlinks, create a design, research design, and create a diagram of your research, what you will be detecting or concluding into your research at the end, and how your research design will work properly. Maybe you don't panic or worry about the more details I'm talking about, but however, into your MBA thesis, before the final part 2 of your MBA research, you are only committed to understand that selecting the appropriate methodology, selecting the appropriate methods to analyze your data, the rationale beyond the ethical consideration you are using, and what you are going to detect and conclude into your research, it's enough. And further step, maybe before deciding if you can pursue a PhD study or not. And I was very happy that I was teaching three other groups before you with the University of East London. Many of them has been reflecting in their feedback that we will pursue PhD studies because of the techniques I was using, and I prefer all the time actually to have an exceptional free of charge webinar just to explain and give many remote students to understand well the contents of their study, which is one of the major content and the inclusion of my research to help every students around the world to progress into their research and have a research collaboration with everyone. Once you are going to identify the research questions, you are going to have the research gaps. What is the problem? Where is the drop you find? I'm not going to discuss into more details about the paper structure, because it's already the big size, it's heading 1, and the smaller one, heading 2. You can have also from the style heading 3, and that's enough for your MBA research. No more. There is heading 4, but No need to struggle and panic yourself with more. What is available is fair enough for you to use. I recommend only to use heading 1 and 2 for now. It's enough. And you will have a very good structure. Frequently go up, scroll, click on the table of contents, update the contents, entire table, and you will have a very consistent table. If you change the font size, if you do any reflection, or you push up some content, or you go and add some valuable contents into your second revision, so everything will be updated automatically. One critical feedback, avoid to place any headings. Let's create an example for that. Avoid create any headings in the last line, like this one. So if I'm going to place heading 2, for example, 1.3 here. This will look very poor quality. Just click, simple click down to be at the first next page. So you will have a clear content and of reading your paper, and you will have a very high quality into your paper. After identifying the research gaps, you will be proceeding to your literature review. So I don't need to be micromanaging again. Some people have a very high quality of paper, and I have the capacity to identify if it's AI generated, and if it is AI generated, if it is fully text generated or only proofreading. If it's proofreading, so I'm tolerating this, but if it is 100% AI generated, so I'm down marking the paper, because I can have some tools to check and identify that it is not a human work, it is artificial work. And this is not reflecting the quality. For sure, in the fourth industrial revolution, everyone is using technology, but you must use it ethically. You have the right to use proofreading, and you must cite into your acknowledgement that you used, for example, any AI tools for proofreading or looking for any critical issues, and you must clarify, but not generating. Do not put the heading to generate for you the content, and then this will create the misconflict that some people are providing very high quality of paper, but they got just pass degree, and some of them get failing degree or grade. Because this is not a human work, people are just placing list of references that has no relation with the content. Any list of references, we are checking the references actually. Just to give you an idea, we are checking the references, we are checking if it is matching the in-text citation as well. If it is just references and no in-text citation, so it is useless to put it. You must have. Some people are doing this accidentally, and other people are doing this intentionally because they need just to show the paper is very rich in references. Some of the reference has no relation with the research. And where is the in-text citation? So we can check the content relevant with the in-text citation. So if the in-text citation comes immediately after your paraphrasing and your exclusion or extraction from any previous research, this is a high quality of paper, and it must be duplicating in the references list with the appropriately relevant UEL referencing style for Harvard referencing style. 2,600 words. Again, I'm not doing micro calculating the number of words. It can be 10% more or less. However, the total words of your assignment do not exceed. I'm not happy with some of the papers that exceed 9,000 words. So I'm even downgrading, because if we require 2,600 words and we said minus plus 10%, we do this intentionally to assess your capability to summarize and paraphrase the contents in a specific number of words. If you are not capable to do that, so you are losing the focus and you are leading your reader to lose the focus point, and your research will not be clear to understand from any reader. So this is very important. Again, I'm recommending everyone to use the proofreading of any free service or any professional service that you can have access with a low cost. This is very important to shine and show your research, how we can do that. Everyone is using that, even including into your PhD research. You will have a budget from your university just to go to professional service to go for the proofreading of your thesis and revise the structure of your content. Some of the reviewer, while doing the proofreading for my research, are moving content from a section to another section because it is very valuable, but I'm placing in the incorrect or wrong section. So the order of your chronological research and the consistent flow of your research is very important to let your research easy to follow up and to understand at the end of reading your paper. Once you have the research methodology, methods, etc., the research methodology, let's consider we do have the top 3 research methodology: qualitative, quantitative, and mixed methods. So both of qualitative and quantitative methodology, it is considering methodology. But however, the methods, if you are using, for example, some qualitative research, I can consider the methods could be a critical incident methods or the critical incident theory. You are going to go through some narrative stories from your friends, people who are talking on the social platforms, through aggregated sources, scholarly aggregated references, etc., and research through students, universities, students, etc., and reflecting some emotional behavior. I did that in my research, for example. I was going through the testimonials of overseas students in different countries, including China, and assessing the emotional behavior during COVID. What are the students saying about their university social responsibility? And then linking to my customer relationship management framework, making links and interlinks or intersection with the corporate social responsibility, defining the new theory, what should or must do through the universities all over the world to have a high quality of education and student satisfaction. People are just focusing on the money sometimes or mostly, especially in the very well attracted countries like Australia, United Kingdom, some other like Canada, etc. Money is firstly, but however, if people will go through my research and defining how we can generate more gross domestic product to the country through having student satisfaction and providing scholarship, they will be wondering how we can generate this, because there is a direct and indirect expenditures through the overseas students in any countries that are generating more GDP to the country. Any overseas students living in any countries overseas, they do have flight tickets, they are bringing their families, they are paying for visas, they are paying for tuitions, they are paying for tours, excursions, foods, buying groceries, etc. It's a lot of billions of dollars expenditures in any country. It's not a matter only to have tuition fees paid on time, otherwise suspension for enrollment is done. Because if I'm providing any of the students who are struggling mentally because of any financial stress, scholarship, or extension for payment, or partially tuition fees exemption, they will help them to stay in the countries. However, they will never stop eating, drinking, bringing their family if they need. It will minimize the allocation for the funds for mental health, which is exceeding 2 billion Australian dollars in Australia. If I'm having a healthy mental health students in any country, I'm going to save billions of dollars, regardless Australian or Canadian or American dollars, because I'm having healthy people identifying and linking. So I am linking in a complex advanced progress, stage, some software technique to assess the mental health behavior of the students and taking the relevant appropriate steps in the right time to avoid any suspension or any drop in enrollment. Because people, if the students are not happy, if are not having the minimal financial stress, they will not continue and pursue their study, and I'm going to lose tuition fees, money, direct, indirect expenditures. I'm going to lose very high potential for workforce that will contribute and be injected in the economy while having a good health in the quality of higher education in any country. That's why I'm preparing for the next stage of my research in the Middle East and North Africa, and I'm going to link also shortly in Australia in the right time. Regardless your research aims and topics, you cannot be able to change everything as you wish, but you are doing as much as possible the necessary steps and stages to do what you find ethically, matching your values and you link to your research philosophy through the axiology, epistemology, and ontology of your research, and you understand very well what you do. A good explanation about the ontology, axiology, epistemology, and linking to your research methodology and how you find the methodology the best to assess your values, how you can generate good knowledge into your research, and how you can link it to the reality of your research topic, issues, and gaps is the key factors to have a high quality of research methodology, and avoid as much as possible to just mention broadly quantitative research are used for 1 to 3, qualitative research are used for 1 to 3, and however, jump immediately link to your research topic. Show me and show any reader that you understand very well why you selected your methodology and your methods and how you can identified your ethical consideration and briefly reflect your research philosophy in a very simple explanation. I know the research philosophy is a big struggle for lots of academics, not only students, but however, ontology is briefly remembered by the reality. Epistemology equal knowledge. What are the knowledge reflecting your research topic? Your knowledge, your experience, and what you find in the market around previous scholars or previous people working in the same industry. And the axiology means values. What are the values? Just remember 3 words: reality, knowledge, and values. So you will be very easy reflecting what you find through your previous experience if you work in this field or sector, and what you will need to identify as a future study. Finally, the research plan in 500 words. it is 5 marks, but it is showing your capacity to show. If you previous have a project management course, use the research or the project mitigation plan, use a mitigation plan to prove that what if my first planning didn't work? I'm going to use this. What is your expectation into your time frame? So integrate some project management technique into your research because it's a project. It's very critical. Schedule a reasonable time frame for each stage of your research. Explain what you will do exactly. And what if it didn't work? What is your mitigation plan? And what is your expectation in extending your time frame to longer or shorter time? And it's not an obligation for sure to use the exact colors and structure. I'm just giving an idea. To insert a table, select whatever table colors. Do it manually, do it through the, you can do it from Word very easily. Insert table. From the insert tab, you can insert table. You can select like this one. I'm going to here. Insert table. Consider that you need only 2 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. So we are going to click here. If you need the 3 rows, you click here. 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do it 6 just to understand how it works. That's it. If you want to change the colors, you click on the table from this cross here. You go to table layout, table design, sorry. Click on that, select the color you need. The structure, if you select I'm just talking about a professional look. Okay, lots of good colors, but try to select a professional look to your paper, consistent and convenient with the rest of your paper. So I'm going to have the table design. Let's say I don't have gray. We can use this one. It's consistent with the font color and size, sorry, font type and color with the most inclusion, for example. But however, if you select any different color, it's not downgrade. I'm just talking about the quality of your paper structure. Looks professional, looks highly academic, and this is very important. And finally, the research, the references will be placed here. You can have some recommendation section. It is not including in your paper recommendation and the requirements, but however, if you include 200, 250 words, I'll be considering in the word counts, but do not include recommendation 500 words or 1,000 words, and reduce the rest of your paper requirements. But however, the research schedule has to be 500 words. It can be 450, it can be 550. More, it is not recommended exactly, but even though I'm tolerating a slight margin up and down, but once I found it is exceeding unacceptable margin, so I'm downgrading the students as per the lack of capacity of respecting the word count. Conclusion section also it's recommended, maybe 200, 250 words. The references, minimum 12 to 15 references. I can still even find, comparing to other Australian universities I'm teaching, so I can still, for your level, it is recommended to go beyond 15 references, maybe 20, 25 references, it will be good because it is a 6,000 words paper. You have a very good space to have. Do not duplicate the references. Do not extract high content from only one reference and duplicate several times because it is counted by the end of the day only one reference. But try as much you can duplicate. If you can find relevant content from some research, in my research, for example, I found lots of contents very valuable that I can duplicate maybe 3-4 times in the research, but I'm talking about 335 pages research, and I'm talking each time on a different perspective, not the same one and duplicating the same references. 2025, it will give you high marks into your references. However, if you respect what is University of East London required 12 to 15, you are not downgrading, but I'm just talking about potential strengths. Some people are providing very valuable sources of references, and they do have a slight mistakes in in-text citations. They forgot to have the in-text citation, or they didn't include in the second and final review, etc. So I'm expecting mistakes like this, but however, I'm not expecting mistakes that 90% of the references list are not listed or including in the body of your paper or the text as in-text citations. So this is not reflecting a credibility about your potential doing the research, and it must be cited in the appropriate time and place. Important matter to sort your references alphabetically. It has to be as Harvard UAL referencing style. And do not forget, if you find some valuable tables to include, figures and tables also should be cited as per the Harvard style. So just cross-check about the UAL Harvard referencing style through the VLE. If you find a bit hard to find, just let me know. I can drop you an announcement or post so you can access directly the UAL Harvard referencing style. You can read more about what to do. And you are also eligible to use EndNote software for referencing because it can save enormous time and it can give you much more accuracy and very minimal manual work. So using software in a higher degree by research are permitted, but you need to include in the references properly into specific groups and subgroups and have some practice and knowledge. If you don't have the relevant knowledge about your using the software to insert the references, so it's better to do it manually. Surely it will take longer time, and however, give you much more understanding about how you can do the referencing style properly. Especially, it is not that much, 12 to 15 references to do it manually. List of acronyms. Some papers are very valuable, but however, they are talking about acronyms without spelling out. Every acronym into your paper for the first time that will pop up should be spelled out. What do you mean? Do not say at the introduction section of your paper, I'm going to talk about CRM and CSR. You should spell out CRM, customer relationship management, between brackets, CRM, and corporate social responsibility, between brackets, CSR. All the acronyms must be in capital. After that, some scholars recommend not to start the first sentence with any acronym, but it is correct also to start. If you do that, you are not mistakenly. But however, if you start any acronym as the first sentence of any paragraph, you should spell out the full And after that, you can write the acronym at any place without spelling out, because you already spelled out at the introduction section, or at the first popping up into your paper. Once you said about any acronym, you should spell out after that the rest of your paper. If you just tried the acronym, you are fully correct and right. The list of acronyms should start in contrast of the content of your paper. You write corporate social responsibility and then between two brackets CSR. This is in the body of your text, body of your paper. However, in the list of acronyms, you should start up by the acronym first in capital and then make some backspace, be consistent to be aligned all the acronyms and sorted alphabetically. What is capitalizing? Because I referred to the headings and subheadings and I didn't explain into details. Capitalizing means if I'm writing a heading, for example, corporate social responsibility, the C in corporate must be capital, the S in social must be capital, responsibility, the R in responsibility must be capital. So what if I write in any heading like this? It is not truly recommended, but if in any war scenario you did that, be consistent. Be consistent. Do not capitalize. Do not come to the second acronym and put the C capital, the S small, and then the R capital. So you are not consistent in the capitalization into your paper. And this is downgraded from the paper structure. How to capitalize, how to create headings, subheadings, how to make the numberings of headings, subheadings, how you can have a clear, consistent table of contents with one font, be consistent in the paper font type, but I'm not recommending to be consistent in the font size, because if you are talking about one paragraph, for example, like this, it is not it is size 12, it couldn't be size 20. Font size, it is changing as per the headings, subheadings automatically. But however, the content of your headings and subheadings should be consistently using the same font and the same font size and type. So actually, I'm going to stop here because it's even exceeding my planning to leave early, but I'll manage anyway. I'm going to stop here for the paper structure. I'm going to open discussion for any confusion or any clarification about your paper. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. If you feel free to open the videos and just raise your hands if you have any questions to start our open discussion about any question relating to your research topic, please. I can't find your name. Can you please introduce your name?
Yes, I'm Nader. I'm from Egypt. Yes. How are you doing?
Yes, thank you so much, Nader. Thank you so much, Nader.
Thank you, Doctor.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. The first question was about should we mention the company name, or it's a must to mention the company name? Because if I will go for the company name in my research, I have to get the consent from the company, and it will take sometimes. I think this is my first question. The second question, if it is for the industry, that's okay, fine. We can mention the industry and the scope. That's okay for me. That will be fine, because there is a relation even for my previous workplace, which I will do the research for this, and a relation between our company and the governmental sector. So I cannot only get the consent of my company, but also I need to get the consent of the governmental, and you know that. Okay. Another thing, if you can recommend a proofreading app or service that we can depend on, or just recommend, it will be fine for us. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
that's fine for me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nader. That's a very critical and very crucial question that Nader is popping up for. Mentioning the company name, it depends. We have two answers actually for this. If you do have some scholar previous research mentioning and publication about your company name, and you have already in-text citation and publication, you can use that and mention the company name and use the previous citation. So it will protect you that it is not your thoughts, it is some of the previous scholars' publications, and even if there is any mistake in the previous research, it is not your sole responsibility, but however, it's a co-responsibility between sharing the same information. But however, it is integrating crucially with the ethical consideration of your research. Among the important, crucial and critical ethical considerations that I need to protect the researcher, I need to protect you. If you are still working in the company, it is better to put your company name anonymous because you are still working there. I don't like to harm you. I don't like to have any physical, any mental, any especially in some of the countries, we know very well about how governmental organization can work, how you can face some discrimination or some kind of direct or indirect stress in any way. And some of them can lead to resignation because you are sharing the truthness about some reality you are facing. So most importantly, I need to protect you, and you are the only one to decide if you are predicting that there is any harm physically or mentally that will be occurred on you. If you mention the company name, I prefer to put it anonymous. And but however, you must mention the industry that this company is working. So your research has something meaningful to share with publications. For the proofreading, actually, I don't have any specific recommendation for anything, but maybe I'm not very well known about the AI tools, but there is lots of AI tools that many people and many students are so smart to use it. And people even I'm facing, because I'm working with multinational national environment in Australia with lots of people from everywhere in the world. They do have even tools to hide the AI detection, but also we do have tools to detect if this is AI generated or not. I don't like to have to be in this camp actually, because lots of people do not have time, but at least do the basic work, do the research, proof your research meaningful. I'm not doing micro marking again. I'm looking to the value that your research is sharing. I understand very well that the students' capacity can differ from a place to another. Everyone, especially MBA and PhD that I'm teaching, are all mature and working professional, have lots of expertise and experience. You do have lots of personal obligations as well. It's not only study. And you must show this responsibility in a professional work. Anything else, Nader?
Thank you, doctor. Thank you
so much. Thank you so much. Who else would like to share any questions to me, please?
Hello.
Hi.
It's Shada from Jordan.
Shada.
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Very good.
First of all, I would like to thank you for the valuable information you provided us with today.
Thank you.
And my main question is about the method and methodology. There was one of the topics that is talking about like a real-time example or live things that you usually maybe live in your day-to-day work or life. And the topic that I selected is regarding SAP. And actually, the current company I'm working with is using SAP for the last 5 years. And we're like moving gradually and exploring a lot of things and implementing a lot of things. But I was wondering if we can just keep the name of the company like anonymous, and just to keep talking about like a real example, but at the same time to talk about real benefits. So everyone who can read the topic and the research can really benefit, and to know that the return on investment that is being paid now is going to be like a long-term investment, because first of all you're going to start, for example, with specific departments like the finance, like the material planning, and to work more as ERP system, and maybe to gradually move with the HR system that they have, and to go through the full cycle of the company. So I was wondering if we can just make sure that it's an anonymous name to avoid getting like more approvals or consent from the company.
That's perfectly, but I would like to precise, because many of the participants do not work technically. So if I understand that SAP system application and product data processing, so you should spell out your colleague just to create an engagement from your audience, especially if you are doing some presentation. You should explain what is, because it's a very technical advanced level of data processing. You should explain what is SAP stand for, or spell out what is stand for, as I was explaining now, and then clarify what is your aim to integrate this. So I'm going to show we do have some real-time methods. Actually, the best is you can use a mixed methods. Both quantitative and qualitative methodology are very convenient. So the mixed method will be the best one to use it to integrate both of them. Any quantitative methodology you can use, you can generate through SPSS, IBM software. You can create charts, diagrams, and convert some variable data. Also, if you are going to use qualitative research, you can use NVivo qualitative tool. You can convert, you can make some coding for your data. You can protect your participants through anonymous participation for everyone. Even you can, do you speak French, Shatta?
No.
Okay.
Only Arabic and English.
I can hear d'accord, so d'accord, okay, no problem. So on real time, I prefer to use one of the best methods is a critical incidents. For example, you have your colleagues. You can invite some of them to participation, but protect the confidentiality of your participants through coding. You will be knowing each one of your participants, because you are the researcher. You must know, because it is coding every one of the participants, but you will have the right and the full protection to know who is saying what through the participants' consent. But it is exactly, and it is your obligation to protect everyone participants, not to show or publish the names unless the person is consenting to do that.
Okay.
So you avoid any physical or mental health harm to any of them, and you are protecting yourself as well. The real time also, I can recommend another software, or it's like eye tracking methodology, or sentiments analysis. Sentiments analysis, it's a very good way to analyze through some specific techniques and software and eye tracking methodology is both medical and technical tool to assess, like you are watching any website, for example. I can track your eye concentration on which content, and that's why many of us are receiving invitation to purchase after watching a specific website. If you are jumping accidentally on any website, you will be a victim of tons of follow-up emails of tracking your performance, because lots of them are unethical, but by protecting by ethical. How can we say that? One of the Australian students was sharing with me is that the shopping center, once we are entering any shopping center, we are receiving SMS. How can they will know that? I'm teaching even in digital marketing. It's detecting linking to the network for
Location.
mobile towers,
Yes.
location. Yes, exactly. And all the shopping are paying rent. They are expecting to detect all the mobile phones, the cells that are entering, sending message to come and shop from here and there. And it is an automation that is scary to violate our confidentiality. But however, everyone is obliged or in obligation to accept the terms and condition of the network for the shopping center to be able to use it or to register. Once we click, I accept the term, so it is giving full consent to all the shopping to use your personal data and track you after that. So it is, I can recommend, it is unethical, protected by ethical. They are doing formally and legally, but however, it is unethical because no one has time to read 50 pages terms and condition to use network, you know. Am I answered to your question or still not clear?
Yes. Thank you so much.
No problem, Shad. Thank you. I can see Kristen is preparing to jump in. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Bakr. Thanks again for adding clarity to our structure for our report. I think it's very valuable to every one of us. And greetings to colleagues from South Africa. I trust that you guys are doing well. It's a beautiful midday here, and I trust wherever you are, it's pleasant as well. Okay, Doctor, I've got a question regarding, so as a student of University of East London, I do have a question regarding the way in which our research would be undertaken. I do know that for our students in the MBA sector going under the School of East London, University of East London, we are only to do secondary research.
You are going to do what?
We are not allowed to. We are only allowed to research with the use of secondary data and are prohibited from making use of the primary data. So it does pose some restrictions to the amount of information we can provide because it has to be publicly available as well. So in terms of my research and my proposal, it was also in alignment with the company that I work for, trying to be more specific because I'm in the position, and it's one of the topics that I feel is of great need and great importance to my company at this point. And for me, that is a bit more difficult now with not being able to provide you with primary data and metrics from within our company because this is not published information. What are some maybe recommendations or tips that you could perhaps provide me with to maybe look in the same industry? So I'm also in the education industry, to perhaps make use of secondary data in place of the primary data to support the same motive of report.
Thank you so much, Christian. Is that Christian?
Christian, yes.
Christian, yeah. Thank you so much, Christian. I'm going to answer you. So actually for the HR, the most convenient research is to assess the employee satisfaction, and you can assess and go through the organizational behavior Organizational behavior of your company, it's very important because it is reflecting leadership style. It is reflecting how you can have a culture diversity respect into your organization, how you can value your employees. It's not a matter of monetary appraisal or system you might have. It's actually mostly reflecting how the leaders into your organization are dealing with cultural diversity, how they can exploring and detecting the qualifications available, because it's a workforce and every company should value and detect. And I was teaching this also in the leadership. Even myself, I was analyzing my personality as a leadership because I was acting the last position before jumping and flying to Australia to have my PhD journey and certificate. I was acting as a chief executive officer, and it was very important and critical to assess my leadership style. So I'm a democratic leader, and this is fortunately the same style I'm having with my employees and subordinates. I was side by side with my employees. I'm not stressing and forcing everyone, but I have an eye on the employees' performance because in some stages I must support them. Supporting them can be stressful to many of them because it differs on people. People are physical, people are, audio. Some other people are visual, some other people are sentiments people, and I should detect this personality, different characteristics for everyone to know how I can deal with everyone. How can I read the body language and eye contacts for everyone? And how can I expect and plan what is a relevant, appropriate plan to use with each one of my employees, because it's a manpower. If I'm not using the full qualification and capacity of everyone, everyone should be very happy and very satisfied jumping. And I believe all the people, all the researchers in my cohort that are doing research in human resources, they do have previous expertise. You can understand very well in some stages, many employees are very lazy jumping from their bed, coming to work. You shouldn't blame them. You shouldn't penalize them. But however, you should investigate what are the reasons beyond the being repeatedly lazy to come on time or boring to stay until departure time. This is very critical because it is a previous last stage before resigning and quitting, and it is costing you lots of money. In a different research, I don't remember actually with which one of your colleagues, I was sharing one of the videos in US about the importance of stress. Stress is costing USA 12% of the GDP of the USA. You can imagine only stress, being unable to deal with the stress levels in different level, horizontal and vertical, is costing USA 12% of the GDP. It's a huge amount. It's a huge loss. That's exactly what I was analyzing in Australia while doing the USR, or University Social Responsibility, and how we can value the students from different. I don't look on your color, your skin, black or white or red or whatever. I don't like about your accent. I don't like about but I'm looking deeply and digging into your qualification and capacity. Some people are very potential, but because they didn't have the space to brainstorm and share their thoughts with others because of the discrimination or any monocratic leadership style in the managerial level, they are keeping their thoughts confidentially, which is harming the full organization. So the best way for the HR is to go through the critical incident, is to make the sentiments analysis as well. And I can use some techniques in the CRM to have surveys frequently to submit to all your employees, to make a cross-vertical analysis about the reports. Means what? Send it to the managers, having some reflections and evaluation. Every company has evaluation for the employees, but however, there is discrimination and racism in this evaluation, mostly in the poor and developed countries. To have a real fair evaluation, make a cross-vertical surveys sending to your employees, make a private meetings or focus groups with only employees in some sector, and then have a private meeting with the manager, and if necessary, and if it is not harming the employees, make one meeting joining and merge both managers and employees. But it is very, very difficult to manage this because you should protect the employees. You should send unconscious messages to the managers to know, this is me, I'm the monocratic leader, I should avoid this, otherwise there is a further investigation and penalties that will occur on me. So I was using this in different positions, even I'm making exception. If I'm the CEO of the company, I never hesitated to go and jump and meet with the junior staff. And however, I have my own messages to meet with everyone for any reason, but I'm sending alerts and messages to everyone who is concerned before have a formal meeting. If there is no correction or correctifying the attitude or behavior, I'm taking a very strict meeting to rectify this. Hope this help, Kristen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Anyone else has any questions to me?
Hi, Doctor. I have a question.
Yep.
For
can you give me your name, please, because I can't find the name.
Okay.
Thank you.
So for us, the research topic borders on a specific company, and it also entails us like maybe having the stakeholders, getting some information from the stakeholders or people that use the services. And you are saying you should also just use only secondary data and not data involving human participants. How do we navigate this?
Okay, that's a good question. You are talking about the secondary data and the primary data. So actually, if I'm not totally, but I'm not quite sure if it is a restrictions for UAL to use only secondary data, because it is much more easier. If you are using the primary data and you are doing some research, you must proceed to ethical approval from the leadership of your university. And it's a process that takes time, work, and it has to, you must have an approval, an ethical approval before proceeding to your primary research or primary data. However, you can do the same. But I believe if you can use a small survey reflecting some of your friends and colleagues about having proceeding, but you must take the consent of your participants. And you mustn't use any biological or medical tests on any of the participants. You mustn't harm or use any of the pregnant persons into your research. You mustn't use children or mental health people who has issues, etc. If it is just normal administrative research, small research, and you are using some of the consent form to have some survey, and you are analyzing internally through your organization and confidentially, it could be tolerated in my perspective. But you have to double check in the final course if you can do that or not. But in my cohorts, if I'm the examiner or the lecturer, I can tolerate this if it is not harming physically, but it will never go and proceed for publication without having ethical approval of your research, because it is not reflecting credibility and the legal academic process. Using only secondary data, you will have tons of available data, and you can link to what you expect implementing. If you are not able to do that into your final course for the MBA, you can use it for the PhD study, and in this stage, it's an obligation to have an ethical approval before proceeding, unless if you are doing something called ethnographic, like you are talking about yourself, about your stories, about your experience, your personal experience, you have proof of emails, etc. So you are not allowed to have an ethical approval because you are talking about your personality and you are sharing any critical incidents you find into your life with proof of evidence like emails or letters that show your credibility while you are making the narrative style of your research. Thank you so much, Udia. I believe we are, thank you so much. We still have 5 minutes. If anyone, we have to go very quickly because I have to leave in 5 minutes, please. If anyone has any questions to me before ending the webinar today. So it's fine. So if there is no anyone has any questions to me, so I wish that everyone has been enjoying the webinar today. Again, yeah.
Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shatta. So I wish that everyone enjoyed. I have someone. Can you please? Yes, go ahead. I don't have the name. Go ahead, please. Z003. Can you go ahead? I have someone who raised the hands, but I have no name. Z003. Do you have any question? So it's fine. So thank you so much again for, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone participation. No need for any stress. It's quite easy. That's why I prefer to have a meeting verbally to explain and clarify simple steps. I know sometimes there is lots of misunderstanding in the business writing, lots of misunderstanding. It is very easy to consider some small time to share with everyone important factors to how to kick a good research, impressive research. Focus on the most recent research references. Do not forget the in-text citation. Cross-check all the papers that you have, each reference duplicated minimum 2 times. If it is 2 times, that means you have in-text citation and reference, so you are properly correct. Paraphrase any content, avoid any plagiarism. If you are going to use any proofreading to leverage your research quality, you are eligible to do that, but you just mention that you did a proofreading through this website or this tool or physical place, etc. Avoid to have a self-plagiarism if you do previous research to extract a huge content of your own work. If you find something very important to share for the other, sorry, for the second time, just cite yourself that this is extracted from my previous research, and do not forget to paraphrase also. Do not copy and paste, because each research has different perspective. You need to paraphrase the content of the self-extraction of any previous paper or submission and cite your work. If it is developed especially for the figures and diagrams, some people are just extracting and adapting. If you are adapting any previous diagram, do not say this is my work. Say that cite that it is the source is XYZ and developed and adapted by myself or my name, cite the date, and for the reason of 1, 2, 3. So it is a professional way, and it is also including in the Harvard referencing style. Thank you so much for everyone again. I wish to see your final submission very soon, and at any stage of your study from now until the week 12. If you have any questions, pop me an email and I'll be very happy to answer you. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.